Yes. Beloved brothers and sisters, today, the 1st of January, 2025, very special for you. I'm here to give you deeper understanding truth is not something to be known. The truth is to be realized. In other words, mind has no way of knowing the truth. So whatever mind knows is not the truth. Why? Because the mind itself will dissolve. So what remains is spirit. So truth is always beyond mind. Get this clear. I will explain something to you, bringing you closer and closer and closer to the essence, to the truth. That is to the point beyond the mind. This year, 2025, is the year, we call it the divine year. Divine year, so God with us. It's a good news year. But the good news comes only when there have been bad news. It is always like that since time immemorial. When things have become challenging, very challenging, in other words, when mind is getting to its limit in solving things, then spirit introduces the self. And it becomes an opportunity. For that matter, there is a saying, every misfortune, there is a blessing. So whatever is so challenging offers opportunity for something wonderful. Now the question is taking advantage of the opportunity. In this generation, because of the challenges, people, almost everyone, is looking out for miracles. Today, 1st January, I want you to understand the 3 types of miracles. And then you will see that we have high miracles, higher miracles, and highest miracles. So it is in 3 categories. Hardly do we in life get to the point where the highest miracles flow. But today, I will tell you the opportunity is here for you to reach the highest miracles. I've always told you we have the physical, the external world. Then we have the internal world. The internal represented by the mind, and the external by the body. But somehow, all these came from the spirit. So there is the third. In fact, that third happens to be the first, because it's always there. And the internal and external are not always there. They come and they are always on the move, because it's just like a drama. You begin and it will also have an end. Beloved brothers and sisters, the first type of miracles, that is from below, the external. It always has to do with getting certain things together on the external side. And we label that rituals. Rituals. And our ancients were proficient in that. They knew very well certain combinations and even certain words, if you like, mantras, a whole lot of things you assemble and you get a very magical result. Yes, something miraculous. Well, that is the first type to begin with from below. The interesting thing I want you to note is that this type of miracles, you have intention in your mind to get a certain effect, to get a certain result. So it goes along with desire. That means you want something to happen. Then you go through all those performances. That is why in every tradition we have these kind of rites or rituals. And that is the first type of miracles. Then we go to the higher miracles. Higher miracles, you may not even need combination of things, and you may not even need to be reciting this, reciting that. it is mostly done by the people all uplifted to the internal section. That means they have access to the internal realm. In other words, they have the ability to control the mental energy, and it brings results in the physical side. Yes. So it means the miracle is taking place in the internal and moving all the way to the external. Something is going on in the internal as a cause, and the effect comes externally. And that is higher miracles. And all the prophets have been doing higher miracles. In that aspect, they make themselves into channels for higher energy to flow, and they are able to bring results that are miraculous. Yes. In this way, the prophet, he sees himself separate from the Great Spirit or God. So he goes into deep devotion and gets a connection from inside. And then the energy flows take place, and it gets miraculous results. And that is the higher miracles. Now, beloved brothers and sisters, from the ancient time, from long time, the humans have progressed from the high miracles on the external to the internal, and the internal are higher miracles. When somebody is performing external miracles and comes in contact with someone performing higher miracles, for sure, the one doing the higher miracles can do more. And you know this from the scriptures as well. Yes. How Moses was able to sort of channel down. It was like a channel, because a lot of miraculous things happen through him. So when the priests in Egypt, those very proficient with the priestcraft, were doing their own things, then Moses doing his own, you could see the manifestation of the serpent, and his serpent swallowed the other serpents. And that tells you that this is higher miracle, and the other is a high miracle, but there is something higher. Those priests were doing some miracles. but Moses' own was greater. The same with Elijah, the prophets of Baal, proficient in rituals, and yes, with all the covenants with blood to make some things happen, they did everything to make the fire come. It's not like it is something they couldn't do. They could do. But in the presence of Elijah, they failed because Elijah had higher miracles. He was channeling down energies into the internal realm from the spirit. The internal is closer to spirit than the external. So spirit, being the ultimate, the absolute, the highest miracles come from there. And the one who is in tune, in rapport, in resonance with the highest frequencies, channels down the power to make things happen. Now, beloved brothers and sisters, this is about where a lot of people have the understanding up to. They know nothing beyond that. Majority. But there is something which is the highest miracle. The highest miracles I'm going to talk about. If you haven't heard about them, I'll tell you today. See, when it comes to the high miracles done with rituals, there is intention, there is desire inside it. That means you have an objective, something to achieve. When it comes to higher miracles being done by the prophets and the saints, in fact, there too there is intention. Yes, mostly because of the feeling of compassion for people, the people's desires, they are taken up for higher miracles to happen. It sounds wonderful. So the desire to let the miracle happen is there in the second state that I've just mentioned. So in both states, we have desires. Then when you move to the highest miracles, that is the zone of God, presence, pure, and one becomes one with that. And with God, people don't know that the highest miracle coming from God's presence is automatic. It's without desires. It's without intentions. The very presence of the divine makes the things happen. Automatic. That is the highest miracles. When I cite one or two examples, it might help you to understand this wonderful truth. When you come to these highest miracles, I will Let me give you these examples. See, the prophets were doing all the miracles by seeing themselves separate from God. And they sort of confide in God. And that is the higher miracles. But when one actually becomes not different from the one sort of become one with God. At that state, one says, I and God are one. And that state, if you stay inside that vibration, you don't have intention for miracles, and miracles happen by themselves. See, when the Christ apostles, they fasted 40 days, 30 days for the Pentecost day, they had the oneness with the Spirit happened upon them. That expression of the pure Spirit within them expanded beyond body, mind. And once one comes to that state, he's not mental anymore. And he's not physical anymore. These things are he's functioning with these things in a remote way. And the highest miracles happen. When they moved with the Spirit upon them, the manifest presence of divinity, the expansion of their inner being to be one, to coincide with God, at that state, when they moved, they didn't have intentions, they didn't have desires, and the things were happening automatically. Sometimes people will come and arrest them, and if they were to have intentions, they could say, hey, something to happen to you, or just back off, or leave us alone. But no intentions. And they are carried in, and still they don't have any intentions. And the miracles begin happening. The very presence of divine that you put in the room, you lock the doors. They don't have desires like, these people are nonsense, Lord, come take us out of it. No, they are just there, and the keys crack, the locks crack off, the doors open. The presence of divine. It's not a question of focusing on it that it should change, it should break. No. That is the highest type of miracles. It's not common. And that's why the Spirit says, when you go, don't think of what you are going to say. Just go. You're one with the Spirit, and the speech just flows. It's not putting it on paper, checking this, checking that. I'm going to say this, I'm going to say that. Sometimes people get baffled when even you have putting things down because they are requesting it. If you raise to oneness, then what will come is not based on what is on paper. It's just the presence will bring what has to be said. And it may be totally different from all the intentions. Time is up to understand the difference between the highest miracles and the other ones which have intentions. The intention you may carry to one who is in the higher category and he does the miracles because he is apart from God, and for that matter he has desires. When you move a step down from the oneness with God, that is where you see problems. When you merge, you are one with God, there's perfection in your eyes. Everywhere you look is perfect. And because of that perfection, it makes things happen automatically. What is a need in that field immediately begins to happen. Sometimes what people call need may not be need, and they don't know. And then if you take it to the God presence, there may not be anything happening in that direction, because automatic miracles function with perfection. It knows, it doesn't focus on what the mind is asking, what the mind is asking for. Because mind is asking because it doesn't know. And spirit is not having any worries. Mind has worries because it is limited. It tries all kinds of things, it can't solve things. It only has to introduce spirit. But once spirit presence is coming, no dictation to the highest. Because the highest has no desires and will not pick desires. This is a mystery that people don't know. If the highest should pick desires, what it means is as step down. Yes. Spirit is in full contentment. So, where from desires? Stepping down means lacking some contentment. So there must be desires. Usually, it is this what brings the difference between prophets and Messiah. This is what brings the difference between prophets and avatars. Avatars don't have desires. Their presence makes things happen automatically. And mind does not really cause the spirit to do things. It's a misunderstanding. Mind cannot affect spirit. Spirit affects mind because spirit is dominant with its nature. How it is eternally that. doesn't change. Mind changes. And because spirit doesn't change, it's not going to change to the nature of mind, which is always in need. So spirit is never, never in need. So rising to that state, one should not dictate to the spirit. There, we can see when the apostles will get to a place, no intention to speak those people's language, because even that intention they know it won't work. Why? Because they never learned those people's language. But the presence of the divine makes it happen. Sometimes you can see, yes, the examples of the Christ. One thing I want to tell you today, occasionally the Christ will descend to the prophetic level where he looks at the people's problems and what they are asking for. But in general, that wasn't the level he wanted to function on. That is why he said, "Oh, ye of little faith, unless ye see signs and wonders, you will not believe." He is pulling you, taking you out of that zone, but unless those things are going on, no way. And that is something, if people can understand, then they can appreciate the Great Spirit, because naturally the Great Spirit doesn't function with dictation. So when there's a step down to the prophet state, then people can dictate. We want this, we need that. But then the main thing that the Messiah wanted was that he could take them across all these two zones, the external with these miracles that people are attached to, then the internal with these miracles, and take them all the way to the Great Spirit. Yes. He was misunderstood, for that matter, because not all the things they were pushing he responded to. Because whenever functioning on his level, he wouldn't respond to those things. The Jews, for example, what they were asking for was a leadership that will let them set them free. If you have come and you have the power, you have the whatever, set us free. That is, they wanted freedom from colonial masters. And the colonial masters were the Romans. This is what they wanted. But if you go in deeply, you find that he represented something different. So up to date, a lot of the Jews, no, they never understood him. Even a lot of people now saying they are following him don't understand. This is the reason he told his disciples, I have a lot more to tell you, but you can't bear them now. It is only when the Spirit of truth comes that he will let you know, he will explain to you the real secret. Because at that time, anytime he tried to raise the topic of oneness with God, they would say, hey, blaspheme of blasphemes. Now you are thinking human can become like God. That is why they would take stones. So his mission was never understood. And up to date, it is not understood. Because they are yearning for his function at the second step as a prophet and tapping power from God down. But he comes to oneness with God. So when the prophet is tapping power from God, he's tapping it from the Christ, because the Christ is one with God. And his message is that the same oneness is there for you. And they said, no, that is unbelievable. So the disciples even pushed that into the teachings, that only him, don't let us try to be divine. Yet, here is a person telling you, be ye perfect, even as the Father is. That means all the way I want you to come and reach the point where you are not different from the Father. You are not different from God. Totally one. And from that platform, you don't desire. You don't even think about miracles. What is needed just comes to you. Yes, and it's misunderstood by the others when it should happen like that. So, beloved brothers and sisters, this teaching is only a few normally who get it, who understand it, unless you become humble and determined to know. You will not know. The teacher teaching you this truth how is it possible to drop your desires? Is he asking for you to drop the desires? No, not necessarily. But what it is this. Desires are many, and complete fulfillment of them will never happen. So what the highest teachings are telling you is this: that even if the teacher or the Great Spirit in oneness has automatic miracles for you, unless you come without dictation, because he or that doesn't work on intentions and desires. It works automatically. And the automatic is for your best. It's always better than what you intend. Why? Because the automatic is always drawing you into itself. It let go energies that we call souls, and all the automatic things happening is pulling the souls back to source. But what the mind is asking will be things that will delay or block the coming. It will entangle the souls even more and more. So if you go to the highest miracles zone and you are carrying intentions at that state, just that field of energy, just if there should be a request, become receptive, and whatever the Great Spirit says is automatic. And it is something that will liberate you from entanglement in the lower, in the external, internal. And all such things bring fulfillment. The question is, what about the things you need to take care of in the world? If you come to the Great Spirit and you enter that zone and all you want is what the Great Spirit has for you, automatically the best will flow to you. But when you carry what you want, it's your mind wanting. It is not what Spirit sees as perfection to give. What your mind wants, mind will tell you is the greatest thing, is the best thing, is the only thing. And it has been deceptive to people for generations. And in your lifetime, mind has been dictating. Are you better off? So, if you are in need, the need is seen by the Great Spirit. If it is real need, automatic miracle will happen. Don't dictate. Automatic miracle will happen. Interesting, when it happens forever, you won't fall in that need anymore. That particular need will be off your head forever. When the highest miracle moves in your direction, it's permanent. That particular problem vanishes, never to come back to you. But if you dictate and the highest lowers down to give what you have dictated, you go function with it, entangling yourself more and more, and that kind of problem keeps coming. So it makes you rely on the one who is sort of channeling down. And then the tendency is to worship that one, forgetting that the same power is inside you. So the highest miracle is always happening to reveal what is inside you, the power inside you. Beloved brothers and sisters, 2025 is a year of the divine, and I'm going to really clarify things more and more. In the first place, from the point of realization, there is no language on the earth that is able to explain why language functions from mind, and mind is limited. Without mind, there is no language. But spirit remains. So, when there is realization from spirit, expressing it all the way to language is not so easy. Mind cannot understand. So trying to let people understand this is not easy. But when it resonates with you, then it makes you understand that when you are going into the zone of the presence, that is the only time you do your best to channel the desires to just one desire. And that one desire is for you to be transparent in this presence and see what automatic miracles will appear. But we don't come inside that field with that kind of desire for transparency. We carry the same desires and enter the field with it. And in this way, automatic miracles don't flow that way. In other words, you block yourself with the desiring. And unless the divine descends to a plane where the pure presence, divine, is separate in a sense in our minds, even though it is never separate. But that is the mystery. And then you see yourself separate from God, then you struggle. When you become one with God, struggle ends. So, people don't believe this statement that seek first the kingdom, the rest will be added. They don't really believe it. They don't really believe it. None of the prophets made that statement. It is only the Christ. The prophets, you come with the rest that you are looking for, and yes, get it. Get it this way, get it that way. But he says, seek first this, the rest will be added. This is why they couldn't understand him up to today. They don't understand him. Yes, same truth keeps coming, but it's not common. Common things may be understood easily, but when it's not common, it takes those who have passed through the system for long to really resonate with it. Yes. So, beloved brothers and sisters, you are in for the highest miracles, and it gives you permanent solutions. If the highest miracles will move in your direction just by itself, whatever your problem, if it is health, for the rest of your life, no more of that challenge. If it is, like in this generation, finances, automatic miracles move in your direction forever. Prosperity forever. But below that, it's not assured. It flows, and it is based on desire, and it causes you to increase desires in other places and then entangle yourself more and more. People want promotion, you get it for them, for that matter, and their desires increase. Because he didn't have enough, he wasn't maybe drinking the beer or doing this or that, or chasing after this, chasing after that, because he didn't have the means. Now he comes to ask, give. Then he has the means and he goes into these things more and more. Automatic miracle will not give that kind of miracle. And that is why people don't understand. So, this chance for the highest miracles is rare. And if you can take advantage of it, health challenges, when it moves in your direction, permanent. Financial, when it moves in your direction, permanent. That is the highest miracles. Whatever. Time is up to rise beyond the dictation to the divine. Think about it. The wisdom of the divine, and then you approach the divine and say, do this for me, do that for me. What do you know that do for me, if that is what is going to cause the greatest trouble for you, you are asking for it. And that is why people get cheated, because there will be some out there to offer that. And based on that, look at it carefully. Some temporal thing will go for you, and then worse things will turn around upon you. And then you go to the same place again. So it becomes that kind of thing. And you chase around here and there. So every question you get the answer out there will raise other questions. Every problem you get the answer out there will give you another problem. But if you have touch of the divine, if you have touch of the highest presence, that highest miracle, and something moves off from your life, it draws you closer, it's embracing you, bringing you into the field of divinity. And whatever used to worry you, whatever you needed to solve, automatically gets solved. Automatically. Yes. When Peter left the fishing, first of all, Christ descended to a level where the asking of Peter, oh, these are my worries, I want this, I want that, I want that. After, then he reduced frequency and did it for him. And then plenty desires started coming into the mind of Peter. So I can make so much, then help me to get more and more, and then solve all my problems. Pay the taxes to the Roman government and take care of my people. And then Christ said, hey, that's not the direction. You're going to be fishers of men. That means he descended to do that, but he raised back to high frequency, and the automatic statement is not going to enter the sea again. It's a different directive. Different directive. When you raise the frequency to the highest, it's not going to be what you are dictating. So somehow he was lucky to follow the highest, statement, automatic statement that came was, hey, you're going to be fishers of men. So that miracle you saw there, for your desire, no, leave it. Automatic miracle says, come here. It gives a different thing altogether. It happened instantly. He reduced to do that for Peter, and Peter was going to get interested. He said, no. They raised frequency and said, automatic directive is this one. Go this way. And this is something. And beloved, if you want to see the truth, when he entered the automatic zone, then at some point he wanted to go and see his parents to see the outcome. Surprise. Perfect. Taxes from Romans, no problem. All was gone. And food abundant. That is automatic miracles. Yes, automatic. He didn't request it directly. He just followed the automatic, when the automatic statement came, follow me, or make you fishers of men. It wasn't coming from the prophet type of work. It was from a higher presence. Because if it were to be a prophet, then he will continue to let Peter do the fishing and entangle himself more and more like this. But he took him out of it. So these highest miracles are rare. They are not common. But they are the best things for your soul. The other miracles are for your mind. The lowest miracles, the ritualistic things are for your body. And then the internal realm miracles for your mind. And the highest miracles for your spirit, because you're one with the greatest presence, great spirit. And it's not separate for you to even worship, because you are just one. You are the same, not different. From there, what proceeds is miraculous, because it's automatic. Beloved brothers and sisters, yes, this is it. There are many examples, but if you take your time, you can see so many of such examples of the automatic miracles that have been taking place. Yes. Yeah. Yes. And around the world, there are many people who are having tastes of the automatic miracles. But unfortunately, when it happens to them at this stage, because of the indoctrinations, they connect it with internal realm miracles happening to them. It's not so. This is different. Sometimes people are reporting a whole lot of automatic miracles happening to them, but they don't identify it different from the internal realm ones, and that is what is going on. But 2025, yes, is the year of the divine, and I'm going to get you to actually witness a lot of automatic miracles. It's a divine year. But don't go into the divine zone with these petty desires. If I say petty desires, they are, you don't actually know what is best for you. Excuse me to say, somebody is bent on marrying somebody, and you don't even know the lifespan of that person. Do you know it? But you come into the zone and drop everything and hear the automatic automatic words. And if you follow it, then the solutions are permanent. But nobody enters that field without carrying this, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. When you do that, you miss the best things. So 2025, get yourself in tune with truth. And this planet, a lot of changes are going to take place. And mostly, it is when the things in the external, internal get tougher. That is where people are ready. Yes. So tougher things are going to happen to make people ready. Ready to allow automatic guidance. Yes. So all the dependence on this power, that power, this power, they are all, because they are powers less than the Supreme. And you are being beckoned into the field of the Supreme, and don't carry all these petty things. Yes. No worries. and automatic medicines, miracles will happen to you, your health, whatever. This year, when we had a retreat, there was somebody, for many years, she has been carrying crutches. And she came to the retreat. You all saw the person from UK. And when I was in UK, we were going somewhere and we needed to pass a night or two at her place. And the automatic statement came that you'll be okay, you'll walk. Yes. And all along, it's like wanting to see it happen. She came to the retreat, came to visit me again, and I said, the word of the divine, no two ways, but it comes in an automatic way, so just be receptive. She went back to UK. A few days ago, thrown the crutches away, just walking. The hips were shifted, the legs couldn't be used, they were all in some things, and crutches. Everything is gone. Just overnight, she got up, it's gone. My hometown, recently, it is this very year, 2 blind men have been healed. But, you see, from the point of automatic miracles, you don't have desires. So it's not like wanting testimonies for what? For name or for what? You see, the Christ will heal and say, go tell nobody. Today I'm telling you these things because some of you think there's nothing going on. It's, the highest miracles are different. One of them came down, a blind man from my hometown, came here, right here in Accra, and then the pronouncement came automatically. You're going to see. Then he just said, Amen. I know once I have come and you have said like this, I will see. She went back home. He went back home. 2 weeks, the message came, he's seeing. These are not the kind of miracles, psychological or whatever. These pure Great Spirit miracles. But they are not done the way the mind will dictate it. Like you come, 1 minute, it is done. But most of the time, you dictate it that way, and you go, and you may be having challenges with the eye again or something. When I went back to the village on a different mission, this blind man who has his eyes open had spread a message there, so some other blind came. And it was automatic. I don't even let them speak. Speaking means presenting desire, or I want. No, automatic. And I said, you see. They say, hey, amen. And he went. 1 week after I returned to Accra, the message came from there. The man is now seeing. And he's been calling, doesn't know how to thank. I'm not saying these things to, you see, where there is automatic miracles, you are not seeking anything. There is no desire inside it. But because many lack understanding, that's why I'm speaking on it, to help your understanding. Many things are happening around the world. I've said people can be far away and they may be in resonance with automatic miracles. And it is not the deceptive ones, it is not the hypnotic ones, it is real spirit changes. In other words, when it happens like that, inside the DNA of the person, everything has been changed. It's a new person altogether. And that sickness, forever. There are many things going on. But if you are not tuning yourself properly, you see the Great Spirit pass by and nothing happens to you. Sometimes functioning in that presence, I've told you some of the avatars and messiahs may sit under a tree that doesn't bear fruit. He's not thinking, oh, fruit tree from today bear fruit. No. Automatic miracle. When he leaves, the next season for fruits, that plant bears fruit. That is automatic miracle. It doesn't based on desires. If you are near to the divine like that, sometimes you may be expecting that it does wonders this way, wonders that way. Automatic miracles has no motive, because those things you are saying has motives inside. And the timing and everything, automatic miracles, you can't dictate it for. So sometimes it's being misunderstood all the time. Yes. This happened to the avatar Krishna. 2 families, one, let us use the word, one evil because they were jealous and envious and whatever, and hatred in them against the other. The others, they were good. Now, on that level, people thought that Krishna will immediately shatter these people. But he went through time patiently, approached them peacefully, and spoke to them, and he was just negotiating peacefully. And it got to the point they never accepted whatever he proposed, because it is automatic that from him is peace, from him is love, from him is joy. So he wanted them to change from hatred and all those things. So he peacefully approached them. They didn't. And in the long run, he came back to the other party who are good. And then now there was going to be a battle. And automatic miracles work in such a way that it is only for good. But people on mental level, what they call good, may not be good for them. So those people, they were on mental level. That these people, we need to destroy them. The throne, we have to own it. We have to do this. We have to do that. They were just functioning on the mental level. And the mind will give you reasons to be on that parting. So in the long run, he stayed behind his disciple who was in resonance with higher. Even the disciple had to be taught what I'm teaching you today. The disciple started reasoning that you are telling me to move into action, but reasoning about it, I wouldn't do it. Just see this. All these people, some of them are my family members, and even though they are working against me, but religion wants us to be good, so we shouldn't do this and that. He spoke everything. Then Krishna said, yes, you have spoken like wisdom, like intelligent, but, when the divine is automatically saying something, throw away all this reasoning. Throw away all this reasoning. And then he had to prove it in a way. And Arjuna, now automatic things started happening. And then Arjuna came to his senses. Yes, 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 I surrender. I thought you were just my friend. We eat together, we do this, we do that. I never knew that things automatic like this are flowing from you. So your word is a decree, and I will do it. So that is the turning point, and the disciple was ready to get into action. It is all over that these kind of things in Christ's life, it was there in Buddha, and all the great ones. Anyway, today is 1st January 2025, the year of the divine. The divine comes at difficult periods, and the period is going to be difficult. It's already difficult, and it's going to be even more difficult. And then the divine. Every misfortune, there is a blessing. The blessing comes from automatic miracles. You've been functioning in the system with all these intentional miracles. But where do you stand? Where do you stand? Go round these intentional miracles. Rituals are intended for results. And the prophetic levels also, intentions are there to achieve this and that. And sometimes to make name, to make money, to make that. But when it comes to automatic miracles, it's not for any of those things. So if you see those things coming into the zone of one functioning at that level, don't mistake it for those who have desires for these things. It is automatic. They come. And those things, in time, they are meant for certain purposes. And it's perfect. It's perfect. So don't disturb your mind so much. And when I give you practices, it is only because I'm awakening the need to change direction from entangling yourself to seeking to come out of this external, internal entanglement. But essentially, if you get the opportunity of being in that field of the Great Spirit, then for that moment, try to let the automatic flow in your direction. If it is a word, pick it. That is why the Christ said, both heaven and earth will pass away, but the word. So, the word is proceeding from automatic zone. That is why he said like that. Everything coming from that zone gives permanent results. It's always there. But the other areas you pick, settings, they don't have that permanent presence. When he says, both heaven and earth will pass away, both external and internal will pass away. That is the message. And for that matter, the only thing that fulfills your spirit's quest is the automatic state of the spirit. Spirit is neutral, but its presence makes things happen. I've told you this. It's like what the scientists have discovered. They call it catalysts. Catalysts and enzymes. Their presence makes things happen, but they themselves don't change. They are the same. And that is a language telling you about the divine. It's not involved directly into anything, but things automatically happen in the presence. So don't force. Many of you sometimes are forcing in that zone, and it's a mistake. Just be receptive in that zone and get the highest miracles flowing for you, and it becomes permanent flow. And in that you can become transparent channel. You become a Messiah yourself. You become an avatar yourself. Yes, this is it. This is it. Beloved brothers and sisters, yes, I would like to bring this message to a close. But 2025, I'm going to give you a whole lot. But you don't have to make the mistake a lot of people make. Whenever the frequency has been raised to that level of automatic speech, expressions, don't categorize it to the other lessons which are picking people up gradually. Take it very serious. Be careful not to put it down and be expecting another. Then when that one too comes, you put it down and expect another. That kind of attitude, you miss the essence. Because the truth is the truth, and all the things coming inside it, there is a pointer to the truth. Always, there's a pointer to the truth. It will set you free. It will set you free. And you will not be in need, because exactly what you need is what automatic miracles give you. But when you are on the mental level, what you think is good for you may be the cause of your troubles. Yes. So, beloved brothers and sisters, thank you for today.